The word Gregory derived from the Greek word Grigori, which means fallen watchers. Today, the Gregorian calendar is used by both the three major religions, that is, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Even though each of these religions somehow demonize Roman traditions and culture, each of these religions has their own holiest day marked on the Gregorian calendar. These religions have been the key factors to pushing this calendar to the rest of the world today. This calendar was not accepted by the people around the world. Through colonization and slavery, this calendar was imposed upon the people of the world. And today, the average person in any country around the world has no idea how their country came to use this calendar. So today we're going to talk about the Gregorian calendar in general and look into the details of where the calendar comes from, how was the calendar became the world calendar, and is it a calendar that we are supposed to use as the biblical people. Most people would trace the Gregorian calendar back to 1582 during the reign of Pope Gregory XIII. But even though Pope Gregory had an impact on this calendar, the calendar itself goes centuries beyond the time of Pope Gregory, beginning with the root word Gregory or Gregorian, from the Greek word Grigori or Gregory, which means fallen watchers. This Gregorian calendar was the calendar of the watchers. When you observe the Gregorian calendar, the concept of the time, although Pope Gregory introduced the word Gregory into the calendar system has been in place for a very long time. It's like I said again, it begins with the Gregory or Grigori or the fallen watchers. According to the book of Enoch, when the watchers or the fallen watchers, the watchers are descended upon the earth and took wives and bore Nephilim, according to Genesis chapter 6 verse 4. The Bible tells us that these fallen watchers, these destructive watchers, spread forbidden knowledge and corrupted humanity. And we see this in the book of Enoch chapter 8. The book of Jubilees and Enoch as well emphasize that these fallen watchers began to train man in a perverted way, began to teach men about astrology and the use and the manipulation of time to be able to deceive, and decide to teach them perverted wisdom and knowledge and calculations. And so the Grigori, when the calendar is called a Gregorian calendar or Grigori calendar or the fallen watchers calendar, this is their timekeeping during that time before the flood. So the fallen watchers system that they left in place is today's Gregorian calendar that has been restructured over time to be able to continue deceiving man. So when you're using the Gregorian calendar on a day-to-day basis, you know that you're using a Gregorian or fallen watchers calendar. When you look at the Gregorian calendar itself, it gives you a clear impression of what the intention of the people that put this calendar together emphasized. The calendar itself, the days of the week on this Gregorian calendar or fallen watchers calendar, literally worships the fallen angels themselves. What we call today the planets, you call them in different names. Some people call them the Greek gods, the Roman gods. We even have them in the months of the year and the days of the week of the same Gregorian calendar. This is the fallen watchers calendar. The people that put this calendar together did not shy away from opening up, from showing to the world that they are not scared to show you that they are worshiping their fallen watchers. Now it's up to you to be able to gain knowledge so that you can decide with knowledge whether to continue worshiping these fallen angels, these fallen deities, or these fallen watchers by observing the Gregorian calendar, or whether you're going to break from that and be truly set apart. Although most people accept that the Gregorian calendar began in 1582 during the Pope Gregory time, most scholars will agree that the Gregorian calendar, even though introduced almost close to 2,000 years after the Julian calendar, still maintain very significant structures of the Gregorian calendar, emphasizing that the Gregorian calendar is a replica almost, with some correction, of the Julian calendar. And when you even study, you go far back into Greek timekeeping, the same time seems to reflect, the same calendar seems to reflect the same thing. The Gregorian calendar can go as far back as the Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, and the rest of them. They all utilize the same kind of worship system. And so it's very important that we understand when we say that Saturday is the Sabbath, when we say that Sunday is the Sabbath, when we say that Friday is whatever we call it in Islam, that we are aware of what it is that we are participating in. And that's why I specifically wanted to clarify these three major religions, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, have been the major keys, the major factors of pushing this calendar onto the world today. So next time you say the Gregorian calendar, keep in mind that you're talking about the fallen watchers calendar, because the word Gregory or Gregorian or Grigori simply means fallen watchers. So the Gregorian calendar you're using is and belongs to these fallen watchers. The biblical calendar, on the other hand, predates the fallen watchers. It goes to as far as Genesis chapter 1 verse 14, when we're told that the Most High created the sun and the moon to be for signs and to govern the days, the night, the seasons, and the time. And so this is the original calendar of the Most High. Now the Gregorian calendar appears very later in time, and this is during the time of the fallen watchers. That's why it's called a fallen calendar or watchers calendar. The instruction of timekeeping was given in the Garden of Eden. The instruction of timekeeping was given when the Most High created his world. Everything else, every Maleki that came after, they were revealing to man or reminding man what the timekeeping was. We see this in the book of Enoch, chapter 74, 75, 73, when the Most High sends Malekis or to go and speak to Enoch and teach him about the ancient timekeeping or remind him of this time. We see again during the Exodus, the Most High revealing this very knowledge to Massa or Moses as they were leaving Egypt going to the Promised Land. So time and time again, the Most High revived his timekeeping. But this timekeeping, from all that we can see in the Bible, does not align at all in any shape or form with the Gregorian calendar. But the Bible does tell us what would happen. Daniel chapter 7 verse 25 reveals to us exactly what was to happen. And I'm going to read that for you. Daniel chapter 7 verse 25 prophesied that he, when I say he, I mean the beast, shall think to change times and laws. This is very important. When Daniel is telling us that beasts shall think to change times and laws, we are being revealed to that the beast system will change the calendar of the Most High. Time implies calendar. Laws implies the laws of the Most High, which is what gave birth to the teaching that the laws have been done away with. This is the beast system's teaching, that the laws of the Most High have been done away with, that the timekeeping of the Most High has been done away with. And so now we can just accept the Gregorian calendar and be happy with it and not have to question it at all. But I am questioning, and I'm bringing to you this information so that you too can make a decision, an educated decision on why you should continue to either on why you should either continue to use the Gregorian calendar or depart from it. Revelation chapter 13 verse 15 says that he had power. Who is he? The beast had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. This verse is actually a prophecy of what slavery and colonization became. When you read Revelation chapter 13 verse 15 carefully, we are being told exactly what is to happen. We're being told that this beast will give power, will give life unto the image of the beast. So this image, this beast will give power to an image, which means an image will become a physical person. But this image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Now when you read 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48, and it reads and says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." That is what Revelation is telling us, that the heathen shall seek to paint the image of the likeness of their image into the Bible. This is what the beast is telling us, that the beast system will that this system will give the beast, the image of the beast, power, which means they will and that anybody that did not submit to this beast system, to this image, this whitewashing image, that they will be killed. That's what Revelation is telling us. During slavery and colonization, anybody that refused to bow down to white Jesus was killed. This is evident. You can find it in a museum, you can find it anywhere. It's literally modern information. That anybody that refused to bow down to white Jesus, king or peasant, they were all slaughtered and killed. During colonial time, during slavery in colonial time, any melanated person that refused to worship a white image of Jesus was subjected to torture, death, and many times enslavement. And we see this, and this is repeated all throughout colonization. The best example is King Leopold II in the Congo, who killed 15 million people because they could not submit to their authority, to the worship of the white man, of the white Jesus, of the white God. We see this happening in Namibia. We see the same events happening in Kenya. We see the Mau who were slaughtered by Britain because they refused to serve the deity of Britain. You can go as far as Uganda, Kenya, Burundi, many places around the world where Bantu people refuse to bow down to this image of the beast.
Get the book Sunset to Sunset, Our Bantu Calendar, and discover more about Bantu people's culture, languages, spirituality, and migration history as evidence to prove without a shadow of a doubt that Bantu people are the original biblical Israelites. Learn about the original timekeeping of the ancient calendar of Sabbaths, new moons, and feast days, as these factors unveil the true location of the Promised Land. Find the book on Amazon and on YouBuy for people in Africa. Email the author at yahundabadakane@gmail.com.
They were severely tortured, persecuted, killed, and enslaved. This is literally what Revelation chapter 13 verse 15 was prophesying. And we see that anybody that refused to bow down to this image experienced the worst form of oppression. And our ancestors are the evidences of that. And we, the descendant of our ancestors who now speak nothing but foreign languages, are the evidences of that. The worship of a white Jesus today around the world is the evidence of Revelation chapter 13 verse 15 being fulfilled. The worship, the observation of a Gregorian calendar is the clear evidence of the fulfillment of Revelation chapter 13 verse 15. And so when the Bible is telling us that he, the beast, shall seek to change times and laws, we are being told that the laws of the Most High have been changed. That when you go to church and they tell you that the law is done away with, that the law doesn't matter anymore. That's the beast system, that's the beast voice in your ears telling you that the law doesn't matter, that keeping his commandment does not matter, that following his time is ancient timekeeping, that stuff is old and it doesn't matter. That's the voice of the devil speaking through your ears. And so but Revelation chapter 1 reminds us that the time of the Most High is the same. The sun and the moon rise and set every single day, as a reminder for you to return to the Father. But any timekeeping that does not align with this timekeeping of the Most High is not of the Most High. So the Gregorian calendar, we can see already that it's not the calendar of the Father, it's not the calendar of the Garden of Eden, it's not the calendar of origin. And so when you follow the Gregorian calendar, you are on your own. You are practicing a pagan tradition. When you are following the Gregorian calendar, you are worshipping the fallen watchers. We already seen that the word Gregory literally means fallen watchers or watchers calendar. And so, but even more than that, when you speak words of the Gregorian calendar, you are speaking the names, which is really summoning, almost worshipping these fallen gods. For instance, the word Sunday comes from the worship of the sun. Literally, the word sun and day in English. There's no hidden secret right here. They're just putting it right out there for you to decide whether you're going to worship the sun or not. They call it Sunday. And so, when you look at the word, when you look at the ancient Greek and Roman mythologies, the Sol Invictus was the worship of the sun. So the word sun itself within the Gregorian calendar already tells you what we're worshipping. In my book, I talk about the real worship that is being done. It's not even about the sun, it's about the fallen stars that they are worshipping. So they're not worshipping the sun, they are worshipping the fallen beings or the fallen light. Because remember, just like the Malekis are servant of the Most High, the sun and the moon too are servant of the Most High. So when the Maleki fall or the watchers fall, these are fallen stars, these are fallen light that have now become darkness. And now they're deceiving the whole world to worship them under the impression of either worshipping the sun, worshipping the moon, worshipping other celestial bodies. But these bodies, the sun and the moon, serve the order of the Most High. These are celestial bodies that submit to the order of Tatanzambi, to the order of the creator of all things. But people who worship them, on the other hand, they reject the order of the Most High and now serve mere deities, mere fallen watchers that do not have the power to save them at all. So we have looked at the word Sunday and how Sunday is named after the sun, the worshipping of the sun. The second day is Monday. When you look at the word Monday, this is literally the word mon is the word moon day. In French, the word for Monday is lundi. In French, lune means moon. In Latin, luna dies, or luna dies. It means the days of the moon. So the word lundi or luna dies, or what in English they say Monday or moon day, is a reflection of the worship of the moon among pagan nations. And so this is what every time you say Monday, you are actually claiming, you're actually evoking this particular deity, whatever that is. The word Tuesday is also after the pagan deity called Tyr, which is a European pagan deity of war. The word for Wednesday is named after Mercury or Odin, which is another pagan North god. These are European pagan deities that have been preserved within this calendar. And remember, when you study the history of Odin and all the other European pagan deities, you realize these are not different than the fallen angels. According to Greco-Roman mythologies, Odin and the rest of the deity, Thor and the rest of them, were actually descendant of the fallen watchers. It's believed that these deities are half man and half God. Literally, when you're saying Wednesday, You're worshiping Odin, which is a half man, half supposedly angel. And this is the very concept of the book of Genesis, chapter 6, when we are told about the fallen angels procreating with daughters of men and creating half-breeds of Nephilim and daughters of men. Now the word Thursday as well comes from the word Thor, or Jupiter on the other flip of the coin. Thor, again, Thor is a hybrid deities, or a deity itself, or fallen angel that procreated with men, with daughters of men. This is literally European mythologies that you can easily find on the internet if you're looking for information. The following is Friday. Friday, literally named after Freya, or the flip coin is Venus. These are pagan deities. So when you're saying the word Friday, when the Muslims call Azana on Friday and go all of them to pray and spend the whole day in the mosque praying, bowing down and doing whatever they're doing, that's the deity they're worshiping. They might not say it to you, but Friday is their day of worship. It's their holiest day. Even though they claim to reject Roman ways, they still observe their holiest of all the days on a Greco-Roman calendar. And so to them, Freya Day, which is what Friday really is what the Muslims worship their deity. And then the last day of this Greco-Roman or fallen angels calendar is Saturday. Saturday is literally the word Saturn. We can see each of these days is named after a planet. When you look at the names of the planet themselves, they're actually pagan gods. These pagan gods are actually the fallen angels themselves. Example is a Jupiter. Jupiter is a fallen god. According to Greek mythologies, Jupiter is a deity. According to the Greek and Roman mythology, Venus is a pagan deity. Saturn is a deity as well. Mars is a deity. So all of these days of the week have been named after pagan, Greek, or Greco-Roman pagan gods. And so every time you speak their names, every time you say, oh, today is Sunday, I gotta go to church, that's who you're worshiping. Every time you say Friday, today is Friday, let's go to the mosque, that's who you're gonna worship. Every time you say Saturday, no, let's go for it's Sabbath, let's go and pray, the Most High. That's your Most High, Saturn. That's actually one of the smallest deities among all the gods. So these three religions are pretty much maintain the worship of these fallen angels. And even though each of them claim to be separate from the Romans, the Christians will tell you, we ain't Romans, we ain't doing our Roman stuff. But then they follow the Roman calendar. They worship on a Roman pagan day, which worship the days of a Roman deity. When you look at the Muslims, they'll tell you, no, we and the European, we and the Roman, we ain't the same. We ain't worshiping no Greek Roman deities. But then their day of worship, the holiest day of the Muslims, is Freya Day. On a Gregorian calendar, that's what they follow. They follow, even though Muslims might have a moon calendar, they still maintain their day of worship on a Gregorian day, because that's very important. That's mostly important to them. Saturday, the Jewish people, they will argue with you about how they feel about the Muslims and how they feel about the Christians. But then at the end of the day, Jewish people will come on Saturday and will bow down and will do their Sabbath on that day, because to them, again, these Jewish people, that particular day is the most holiest of all the days. Saturday, which is the day of Saturn, the smallest pagan deity, is the Jewish people's holiest day. And so I'm bringing this information to you not to scare you or not to try to tell you that I know more or that I'm better than you, but simply to be able to share information with you so that you too can make a decision, an informed decision of why you should continue to keep following the Gregorian calendar, or why you should put it aside and actually seek the Most High and actually break free from all these curses that we put on ourselves on a daily basis by just saying any of these days. Every day we say them though, by just speaking them By just pronouncing this word, we are speaking them into existence. We are calling upon these deities to come. It's kind of like the Muslims when it's 3 p.m. they sing what they call the azana. When it's 6 p.m. they sing another time. When it's early in the morning they do the same singing, calling upon a different entity or different powers, which is what you do every time you say Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and the rest of the stuff. Now, this doesn't even end there. When you dive into the months of the Gregorian calendar, the month of the Gregorian year, that's when it even gets very deeper. Now, when you look at the Gregorian month of January, for instance, which we know January is named after Janus, right? This is the Roman pagan god of doors and transitions. What you find interesting is that everyone in the world that observes the Gregorian calendar believes that the new year begins in January. But when you go to your Bible, there's no way in the Bible where it says the year begins either in summer or in winter. Remember, January in the northern hemisphere, January is actually winter time. In the southern hemisphere, January is actually summertime. The concept of January as being the new year is a complete contradiction of the biblical timekeeping of the Most High. But what you find fascinating is that both the Christians, the Muslims, and the Jews, they all still observe January as a marker of the beginning of the year for them. And the reason why they do this is because, like I said again, these three religions worship the same gods. Even though they worship them in a separate form, but they are worshiping the very Greco-Roman God, the very fallen angel, the very fallen watchers. The second of the Gregorian month is February, which comes from the word Februo, the pagan Roman god of purification. You can find this in the Oxford Classical Dictionary by Simon Hornblower and Anthony Spofford, 2003. The third is March. March is named after Mars. We all know Mars is. Mars is a pagan Roman god of war. The fourth is called April, right? Which originated from Aperire, symbolizing the opening of birds and linked to pagan Roman deities. People will tell you that April is a real new year. The argument is that it's a September, right, which means 7 is the 7th month and not the 9th, like the Gregorian calendar have said. Because November Latin means 8, that this November means the 8th month and not the 10th month. They'll do the same for November and December. Although these people have an understanding that a new year is supposed to begin in spring, they are lacking the information that when the Most High created man, he did not put him in Europe or in America or in Asia. The man was created in Africa, so-called Sub-Saharan Africa. And so the time and seasons of this land is the evidence of when should a month, when should a year begin. May is named after Maia or Maia, the pagan Roman goddess of growth. June comes from Juno, the pagan Roman queen of gods. July is named after Julian Caesar, the pagan Roman ruler whose the Julian calendar is attributed to. The following is August, which is named after Augustus, another pagan Roman emperor. The following is September, which is associated with Vulcan, the pagan Roman god of fire. The following is October, from Octo, which is linked to Tela and Mars. The following is November, from Novem, which was later attributed to Isis, a pagan Egyptian goddess appropriated by the Romans. And the last one is December, from the Latin word decem. It is tied to Saturnalia, the festival celebrating the pagan Roman god Saturn. Each of these Gregorian months, and as we already seen, Gregorian week, is named after a pagan god, a pagan deity, and a pagan worship. And so every time you say January, you say Happy New Year in January, you are calling upon these pagan gods. Every time you say Saturday, Sabbath, or Friday, or Sunday, you are calling upon these pagan deities. And this is very important that you know this, so that you understand what is it that you're participating in. Exodus chapter 23 verse 13 reads and says, "Do not invoke the names of other gods. Do not let them be hard on your lips." I'll repeat that again. Exodus chapter 23 verse 13 said, "Do not invoke the names of other gods. Do not let them be hard on your lips." This is very clear, very detailed. Do not worship. Do not even name them. Let their name not be heard from your mouth. So when you're speaking, avoid them as much as you can. If you can, even put them completely to the side and never mention these names, because each of these names is a name of a pagan deity that you, my friend, that you, my brother and sister, you are supposed to stay far away from. Because every time you speak them, you are going against this particular verse right here. And so it was very important, though, for the beast system to put these names on the calendar and to enforce this calendar onto the people of the world, so that you and I today could curse ourselves without our knowledge. And the Bible tells us in Hosea that my people were destroyed because of lack of knowledge. And because of this, we speak death to ourselves. We give our children names such as Saturn, Mars, and all of these other European words that we do not even understand the magnitude, the weight that these names carry. We are very scared of our Bantu names. We are terrified by them. We are terrified by our Bantu timekeeping and scared of it. But we don't know. We have no idea what is it that we partake in every time we give our children these names. Every time we speak these words with confidence, as if we're actually saying something more valuable. I'm going to end this here, but I want you to think about that. I want you to go back and watch this video again so that you can understand the magnitude of what I'm saying to you right now. Daniel chapter 7 verse 25 told us that the beast system intended to change times and seasons, that they intended to change the laws of the Most High. We are also told in Revelations, right, that this beast system killed anybody that refused to bow down to this image of the beast. The image of the beast itself is sin. The beast is the fallen angels. But we are also told, the first book of Maccabees also remind us that they painted themselves in the book, which means when you see an image of a white God, of a white Jesus, of a white Mary, of a white Abraham, of a white Moses, you are seeing the evidence of what the Maccabees were writing about. But when you also come across the word Gregory, you go into the Greek language and realize that the word Gregorian calendar simply, literally means fallen watchers calendar. So the question that you might have is, so what do I do? I mean, if Monday is bad, Tuesday is bad, Wednesday is bad, all the way to Sunday, what day can I worship the Most High? How am I going to be able to worship the Most High? Well, I've got an answer for you. In this series, we're going to talk more about what's really happened and how can we overcome this and how can we return to the original path. But if you're impatient to wait, I have a 6-hour seminar replay that you can watch at a very small fee. Just email me and I'll send you the link. You can also find the revised edition of my book, Sunset to Sunset, Our Bantu Calendar, on Amazon. And you can find a lot more information that will help guide you through this path of seeking and searching. I pray that the Most High continue to reveal His truth to you, and I pray that you continue to always trust in the Most High before man. Ingeta. Until next time.
Get the book Sunset to Sunset, Our Bantu Calendar, and discover more about Bantu people's culture, languages, spirituality, and migration history as evidence to prove without a shadow of a doubt that Bantu people are the original biblical Israelites. Learn about the original timekeeping of the ancient calendar of Sabbaths, new moons, and feast days, as these factors unveil the true location of the Promised Land. Find the book on Amazon and on YouBuy for people in Africa. Email the author at yahundabadakane@gmail.com.